Hello, welcome pen friends. Today I'd like to talk about my favorite fountain pen ink. And what brought this on was that I did my favorite fountain pen, and we had that discussion over the weekend. That all came about because a nephew of one of my pen pals, a young person, had asked, what was my favorite fountain pen? And I found that to be a really hard question, and I agonized over it. Now the letter to him is in the mail, along with my pen pal letter. And I did the video, so they'll, see that probably. And in the comments of that video, somebody asked, what's your favorite ink? And I thought, oh no, how am I going to answer that? Because, look behind me. Those are samples and various inks. That's not even my ink bottle collection. Actually, I have more samples than bottles because generous pen friends and people that want to share ink with me have sent me lots of samples. And I keep a lot of them, right down to the last drop, in case I need to make a new little card, to see. So it's not an easy question. But the first thing I had to do, and I'll refer you to that other video in case you missed it, because it might help for context. But what I did in that other video was I finally realized, before I could answer the question, I had to think of my pens with an analogy, some other way, in order to get me to understand how I could answer the question. And what really came up was that I think my favorite most used pen is like my most used jeans. They might not be my best ones, or ones that I even would wear. Well, I might wear them out of the house, but not to anything particularly fancy, right? And so, then I needed to come up with a new kind of an analogy, or, figure out, well, how am I going to think about the ink? Because I kind of knew what my favorite ink was, but it didn't make a lot of sense to me. And you'll see what I mean when we get there. But so finally, I realized that I can go ahead and use the analogy of a bag or a purse, and how I go about choosing something like that to carry generally nowadays. Because when I was younger, I was all about the Vera Bradley, the wild colors. But then as I got older and I realized that color wasn't necessarily my forte as far as matching things, or really kind of, I had problems with that. And I finally realized that if I either stuck with jeans and then wore whatever for a top, or if I stuck with solid colors or neutrals or whatever, that I could get by better. So what I have the bag that I carry right now, which is actually a rickshaw. It's a koozie case, and it's seeing a lot of wear. It's beaten up, but I love this because it just holds my my smartphone and my wallet, and then I have a mask in case, whatever, in case I get uncomfortable all of a sudden, or somebody starts sneezing, and a pen and some index cards. That's it. That's all I carry right now. So I just like that to kind of blend with everything else. And there are times when I don't take that. I take a black purse because the black goes with everything. I don't have to stop and wonder if I look idiotic, because I probably do if I'm wondering. So that maybe will help us lay the groundwork here. So, I think of it like I went about that, and then I thought, okay, is it still going to be true what I think my favorite ink is, based on how many pens I have inked right now with that ink, and the fact that it's the one that I turn back to if I'm all jammed up over what to write with. Then I pick that. I pick that ink that's in the pen, and then I just tell myself, if you can't decide, you just go ahead and write. And also, it's the base color I use in my bullet journal. So now I've given it away to anybody who's keeping up or keeping score around here. So without any further ado, my favorite ink, the one that I just feel so comfortable with that I have to have a couple pens inked up all the time, outside of my pens that I have inked up to write letters, just like I take it for granted. I just can't not have this inked up. So this is it. It's the Graf von Faber-Castell Stone Gray. And I'm going to put it up nice and close. It's a medium gray. It has a lot of water resistance. And that's generally not something I care about like, in other words, it's not a deal breaker if an ink doesn't have water resistance, because I'm happy enough with it without. But this is just my favorite ink. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to link for you the video. I went back to see if I ever reviewed it, and I didn't. And then I wondered, why didn't I not actually review it? And I think I know why, because the review by Vita R, and this was 9 years ago that she reviewed it, was just so good. And it was the video, that I watched and decided to buy the ink. So definitely so good. And I guess I thought at the time, you can't beat perfection. You know, that video's already there. And I think Adam at An Ink Guy has also reviewed it, and I believe I watched his too. But I think his is newer, not as long ago, of course, as Vita's. So let's see here. I kind of got going real. Okay, so at this moment, I already had these two inked up with the Graf von Faber-Castell Stone Gray. Oh, and I had the ink bottle. Let me see. Ah, here it is. Yeah. So, oh dear, there goes my notes. That's a tragedy. So this is my bottle. You can tell if you see the swishing in there that it's getting kind of low. It's not an emergency. Let's see. Oh, this is the front. Oh dear, I got it all whatever, all smeared up. But I love the bottles, but that's not why I buy it. It's just because I love the ink so much. Let's see if I can go fetch that. I need my notes. See how long it takes me to drop it again. No, but okay, so what I was saying was, I've got it in this, not really a mystery here. These are my favorite pens and my most comfortable, turn back to, use all the time daily writers. This is the TWSBI Eco in Cement Gray, which was gifted to me by someone who didn't quite like the color. And thank you very much. I've used it since the day it appeared, because I always use gray ink, and I'm surprised I didn't order the pen. It has a medium nib. And then this one, I was looking for one that had a broad nib to put it in a couple months ago. And so I've got it in the yellow TWSBI Eco. It's just the regular Eco with a broad nib. And I'm using this in my bullet journal, and it's not going really, really fast. So I've used maybe not quite half of the fill. But it's just standard for me to have those, have pens inked up with the gray ink. So, I thought to myself, well, that's a boring video, especially for anybody who watches me all the time and maybe already could guess, what my favorite is. Oh, and by the way, I want to clear something up. I was looking for a empty ink bottle that wouldn't give away like the a brand. And so I reached up and I got this bottle from up in my bottle collection. I collect old bottles. My dad collected old bottles, and I actually inherited many of his bottles, but this isn't an ink bottle. I just pretended that it was, for this. But it's actually a Carter's glue bottle, and I've always really liked this. But anyway, I think you could use it for ink, I guess. It's a glass bottle. And it's funny because it's stained kind of black, so I don't know if somebody used it. Maybe somebody used it for ink. But anyway, I thought I'd clear that up because somebody might actually know. And there was a big debate in my family, I think, over what kind of bottle that was. But it clearly says Elmer's on the bottom, and it is definitely a glue bottle. So, okay. So what I wanted to do was give you a little bit of a bonus, since you sat through here and again about how much I love Graf von Faber-Castell Stone Gray, which is, many people I know don't go for gray that much, but gray is like my black ink color, and I do like cross black, but to me, black ink is stark on the page. I'd rather see a nice medium to dark gray for like daily lists in my bullet journal, and that's what I use it for mainly. But I also use it for lots of other writing too. Oh, and before we go on to the bonus material, which let me just say so that I don't lose you right now, because I have other grays to show you just to kind of compare. But what I'm going to do is we're going to end up with a total of 5 favorite inks, because I'm going to go through 4 more color categories. I thought that would make it more interesting, because I'd like to tell you my current favorite in magenta color family, purple, pink, and teal. Because, it's shifted just a little bit, but I'm staying pretty close to to my old favorites, I've done 2 videos. One where I did my first 12 favorite top inks because I couldn't narrow it down any further than that. And then a couple years later or so, I did another one with 12 more favorites. And there's only, I think, 1, maybe 2. There's one I need to check and see because I think 2 of these is not on the list, so that makes it more exciting because it's not complete repeats, but yet I'm still true to 2 of them. So, okay, so as far as other gray inks, I wanted to just go through those real quickly. So another one that I was really excited about was the Jacques Arbon Gris de Houle, and I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but that's a little bit lighter. Let's see if we can... See, this is a little lighter and perhaps a little bluer, but it's beautiful. And when I reviewed this one, I was wild for it. And, you know, I still am, but I had the whole bottle of the other, and I just used I think I got a total of 8 or, well, maybe not. I doubled. It was Goulet Ink Samples doubled. They sent me, it was the one time they sent me 10 ink samples, but 2 of each. So I guess I had 4 mil of each color in this line when it came out, and I really enjoyed doing that. That was really fun. I came across the big placard I had made with each of the 10 inks the other day when I was cleaning. Okay, here's another one. Noodler's Lexington Gray. And this is a real permanent ink. Let's put it side by side. Still doesn't quite reach where I'm at with the color on the stone gray. It's lighter somehow and looks a little more pencil-y, but it's still really nice. And I do have a bottle of this. I don't use it the same rate as I do the stone gray. Okay, then there's another, let's see, I've got a couple of these. This is the Old Man Winter, I think. The Pilot Oroshizuku Old Man Winter, or Fuyu Shogun is how I say it, but I doubt that's correct. It's a lot lighter than Stone Gray. Stone Gray is more, it's darker and more medium, more, well, yeah, more dark. But you can see that the ink, I mean, the water resistance is there, which is very cool. And these are just a few I pulled out. Oh, yeah, and then a more recent one, totally no water resistance, is the Tom Studios Dove Gray, which is gorgeous. I like that. Let's see how close that comes. Yeah, it's still not the same, but it's quite close. And actually, I'm really happy with that in a nib. So I don't have a bottle of it, but okay. Then Kaveco Smoky Gray, which kind of surprised me. That's really pretty too. But if I remember right, it's quite a bit lighter in a nib, but it's nice. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And I'm doing this because I just flat out love gray ink. Aurora Gray, I never had a bottle of this, but I had a nice sample of it. It's got it's got water resistance. Again, lighter. There's just something special about this one. I think, let's see, there's an old chromatography on the back of my Stone Gray, but that doesn't really give away too much, does it? Huh. So it may remain a mystery why I love it so much, but I do. Okay, so then we've got Diamine Moon Dust, which is really gorgeous. It's a shimmer ink by Diamine. And, you know, it's more silvery. In fact, I call this silver. I don't call it gray. I just happen to call it silver. And then, oh, here's another one. I love this ink, Diamine Earl Grey. And I have a bottle of this, but it doesn't compete fully with Graf von Faber-Castell Stone Gray. So this is the winner. This is definitely the winner. And I need to get busy buying some because knowing me, I seem to have a magnetic pull toward inks that are no longer available. That has happened to me several times. Okay, so now we'll enter into the bonus material here, and I will talk to you about the top inks in the in those 4 categories. Let's see. I hope I put it. No, I got them scattered all over. Hold on just a minute. Okay, they're all right here, but the stacks kind of started to blend together with my eyes. Okay, so let's start with magenta. So right now, my favorite magenta, and you know, this is it's not a new to me ink, but for a long time, my favorite was Vinta Me Copa. But that one has a lot of sheen that's green, and I do really appreciate this one better. So I am just mad crazy about Roaring Klinger Solferino right now, and so that's my favorite. And it's funny because a lot of times I see it as purple because there's so many like of the purples that I like that veer over into the magenta kind of territory. But this is a really good value too. This is 50 mil for like under $12. So this is a really nice ink, and it's the happy color. And you know me, I love happy colors. So there's that one. And when I get done with the 4 main ones, I've got a whole bunch of other ink tiles that I thought we'd just talk about just for the heck of it. So that's that one. Let's see if I want to make sure I can still see them so we can compare, you know. Okay, so next up is purple. And this one kind of surprises me, but I can understand it. It was a toss-up between two, but the winner for me right now is Pilot Iroshizuku Murasaki Shikabu. It's gorgeous. And when I first started with this ink, I thought it was too light. But I've inked it up several times lately, like within the last 3 months, and I've enjoyed it right to the last drop. And I felt like, no, it's not too light. It's actually, you can see it. It doesn't look too dark. It looks real purple. And so I really love it. And this is more expensive. I'm not really sure what they're going for right now, but definitely up there, usually right up around $20 or more dollars for 50 mil. So, but it's gorgeous. I started out with a 15 mil bottle, probably before that a sample. I know my pen friend Karen had sent several samples and got me started with Pilot Iroshizuku, and I'm so grateful because it turns out it's my favorite. It's really my favorite ink brand. So there's that one. And then next is pink. And that is not going to surprise anybody, I don't think. It's Pilot Iroshizuku Setsuji, which is azalea, and I can say azalea a lot better. It's just the most happy color pink that there is, I think. It's much, when I think of neon pink, I think of Diamine Hope pink, but this is darker pink, but it's just so nice in all the nibs. And again, there's another ink color really close to that, which I think I'll save that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I hope I don't get all confused. Probably I will. but anyway, that's part of the fun, I guess. Okay, so that was number 3. And number 4 is my favorite, what I would call teal. And I kind of had to guess on this because, I was calling it blue, but it comes in very close to Colorverse Gravity Wave, and yet the price is better. And I love the shading on this. It's just like, it ticks every box for me. And that's Hongdian Peacock Blue. And I think this was Wendy Sue on Fountain Pen News that turned me on to this ink. 60 mil for $9.99. So I bought a bottle when I got an Amazon gift card, gifted by a very loyal generous channel supporter here, and I call this teal. Let me compare it with Colorverse Gravity Wave. So let's see, here's Gravity Wave over here, and here's Peacock Blue, the Hongdian. They're very similar, and teals kind of have a wide range anyway. So I don't know, I'm nuts about it, and knowing that it's not super expensive, I seem real comfortable with writing with it. So okay, so I'm really anxious to go back to Pilot Azalea, my favorite bright, vibrant pink or whatever, and tell you that, believe it or not, the one that I kind of agonized over, the favorite, was Pelikan Edelstein Star Ruby, which to me seems so similar. I keep covering my mouth. But that was the Pelikan 2019 color of the year. And I'm not sure how easy it is now to find it or not. But you know what finally got me to get a bottle of this was seeing one of SBRE Brown's videos where he had it in a broad nib, and he said it was one of his favorite inks. And I'm like a monkey. When somebody that I really admire likes something, then I got to go find out what it is that they really like about it. And I remembered that just out of the sample, like a 2 mil, I loved it. So it wasn't too hard for me to buy a bottle back when I was buying inks and stuff. So, but both of these are potentially not as easy to get a hold of anymore and could be impossible soon. So I'm always looking for more. So we'll kind of back in and I'll show you a couple more that I think are similar. Let's see. That kind of give me hope. Okay, so here's one. So we've got azalea here in the right hand, and this one is diplomat orchid, and it's very similar. So I don't think I have anything to worry about because I have a bottle of this one too. It's nuts. When you're a YouTuber and you kind of feel free with your ad money to go nuts, then that's what happens. But let's see, and I've got a whole stack here. See, what happened to me was I had purple, magenta, fuchsia, all get kind of mixed in together. So this is what I ended up with, a whole bunch of them. But we don't need to go through all of them. It suffice to say, I did really get everything out and kind of consider and look at, you know, because Vinta Maycopa was really one of my favorites. And it's not the same. Okay, it's, well, actually, it compares better with Rohrenklinger Solferino. See, the water swatch part is almost an exact match. You know, I noticed stuff like that. So, very interesting. And I still love Vinta Maycopa, but the one I have left down in the bottom of the bottle, it has a lot of particle, like sheen particle, I guess. And so that was a mistake not to be agitating that bottle. I think I've mentioned that probably a lot. So, what else? Okay, with the purple, with the Shikaboo, Twisby Royal Purple was always my like, I thought, well, that's my favorite, but that's a tiny little bottle. And I do love it. I really, really do. And there's also another one, Mont Blanc Psychedelic Purple, which was unheavenly expensive. Let's put it that way. So, but you know, there's so many favorites, but this truly is the most recent, like, obsession, if you want to, you know, let's be real. I still love Twisby Royal Purple. Okay, so let's compare. Okay, I got two more purples to compare with. Hopefully I'm not repeating what I already did, because I've been known to do that too. Okay, so this is Murasaki Shikaboo, and this is Mont Blanc Psychedelic Purple. Now, they're different. This is more of a kindergarten, very traditional purple, and this is brighter. It kind of starts to kind of go over to the brighter side, you know. Very pretty. Okay, then Purple Rain. Monteverde, we can't have a purple discussion without Monteverde Purple Rain, which is closer really to that last one, to Psychedelic Purple. But there's something about this in a nib that has really been pleasing me, and I still love this one too. Yeah, it's nice to live in a world with so many pretty colors, and they can really, really raise my spirits. So, okay, so what I wanted to note too, because this comes up a lot. You know, I'm not doing writing samples in this video. These are fun for me to just kind of get out all my tiles and my pans and kind of look at usage, look at what I'm really, really crazy about. Where we take the deep dives is if you watch my Chris's ink pans, and then my, especially the ones that I do in the middle of each month called the progress report, that's where you're going to see the real deeper dives on what the writing samples look like, what's going on, you know, which specific pen and nib and ink, you know, that I'm using. And I have plans to go ahead and ink up the Hongdian Peacock Blue. Actually, I already did. So I'm like, you know, that's going to be for May for sure, and I'm going to either continue the one I have going or do another one or refill that one or something. And then also the Pilot Azalea, I'll do that one. And then, well, Rohrenklinger Solferino I'm doing this month, which we're still in April. So I've got that in the little Banu Pixie. But now I've got it in my mind that I want to see it in a medium nib. So I'm hoping I can find one where, yeah, I need to find a Twisby that's not already full of ink with a medium nib on it. So this was a lot of fun for me. I hope it will kind of raise your color fun yourself. And I'd love to hear in the comments what your favorite ink is. I just thought it would be a little bit weird, you know, that it is gray. But then when I really thought about it and I saw what I actually have inked up, what I'm writing with every day, because I can't say that about other colors. I can't say that I have any other color inked up every day of every month, but I can with the Faber-Castell Stone Gray. So it was, you know, I know I'm being honest. I know it's true, you know. And then, of course, you saw what I carry for a bag, you know. It's just a crossbody little koozie with all the, you know, he'll put, at Rickshaw, they'll put these on for, and then they sell the little strap and everything, and it's really handy. I don't have to worry about I'm hands-free and all that. So I'm wearing it out though. And I'm thinking, gosh, I don't even want a different one. I order it'll be the same one. Oh my gosh. So some things never change. So that's it. That's my favorite one. And then I gave you the little bonus of the current obsessions in the other 4 ink categories. So I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I got to catch up a little on comments because that last video took me by surprise. I actually wondered if it was interesting or and it's so funny how that is. Like, it surpassed my normal you know, views, and then right away somebody asked, what's your favorite ink? So I thought I gotta figure that out so I could do a video. So it only took me, what, 3 days or 4 days to figure that out. So, you know, I wanted to be sure. I wanted to apply some kind of logic to it before I just said right away, you know, it's stone gray. You know, I always have to ask myself, is that true? Because I'm very literal, and I want to make sure, you know. So I'll see you in the comments, and thank you so much for watching, and thank you for everything. All your likes and views and comments, they all help this little channel, and it's still a very joyful activity for me, and I plan on being here as long as I possibly can be. So I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.